all of these stories make me who I am. But to insist on only these negative stories is to flatten my experience and to overlook the many other stories that formed me. The single story creates stereotypes, and the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story.
Oh, my God. Oh, my world. Oh,
Singer, songwriter, acoustic guitar player, Tigre Fisher was born in Boston and raised in Nigeria. I had the privilege of meeting her while I was on assignment for Africa Through the Looking Glass in October of 2010. She exudes such an alluring vibe through the voice of her music, where stories lie of hope, love, struggle, and a sense of purpose. Little would I know that our serendipitous encounter would lead me to readjust my own perception. Unknowingly, I too perceived Africa through an imperfect lens, unaware that I inadvertently accepted the single stories to be true, unaware of the limitless stories that have yet to be told. Sometimes context isn't enough to complete a story, and that is where the sound of music steps in.
When you say one narrative, what is the narrative? I need to know. It's so funny because when you watch television and then when you see what they're projecting, it's always the stereotype, and movies do that on purpose because that's the only way they can represent. When I hear comedians and they talk about Africa, they do that sound. Oh, they speak in that language. I'm like, what the hell? We don't all speak like that. But that is the only one I can think of. It makes me laugh because I know. I don't know if they do that because it's funny or maybe it's just the misconception. I don't know. I grew up in a place where you just become aware of everything. So when things happen, people speak up. When people hit the streets, here everybody's so relaxed. Oh, take away all our rights. Oh, that's fine. So it's like I'm glad I was raised somewhere else. Actually, there was one day I woke up one morning. I don't know, I was like 9 or something. And all of a sudden, the radio, everywhere, television, you can't leave. Lock your doors. If you leave, make sure you have food. And you look outside, they're like, it's like a coup, a military coup. People with guns, people, heavy artillery, So it's like a different experience. I mean, you can't help but become aware of things, Everybody becomes politically aware. First of all, Africa is the largest continent in the entire world, period. I know people do that because everyone sees, I guess you see one TV show and you just assume all Africa is like that. But Africa is diverse. I mean, the most misconception of Africa that I think of is people think everyone in Africa is black, and that's not true. We have white, we have black, we have mixed, it's a plethora of, if you go, you go some parts of Africa, a lot of white people are hanging out. I mean, it's just the truth of it all, and you see, tribes like the Fulani, they're very, 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 very light-skinned. One of my songs, Revolution, I wrote last year when we all went out to vote for President Obama because I felt, it really inspired me, so I wrote that song, and everybody loves that song, which I'm really happy about, So that was me growing up in Nigeria. That was my I'm getting emotional.
No way, no more lies. Do you hear the cries on the streets? Times are very hard. Broken our hearts and minds. Who's gonna pay for your crimes? Riding off into the sunset.
What the keys do for me, Like when I write in regular tuning, which is the regular E tuning of the guitar, there's still a sense of, like the major keys are still kind of present, you know, so the major keys are going to be more happy. But when I tune my guitar down to D minor or A minor tuning, it becomes more sad and more, you know, there's a sadness, there's a, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a heartbreak that happens. Give love! Give love! Give love! That's the end of that one.
Ring around the roses, play through daffodils, run your hands through your hair, dancing merrily.